Alright everybody, so we're really going to need this document here, the Subdivision Servicing Guidelines 2012 from the City of Calgary. You can also get this document on the D2L, or sorry, the City of Calgary site, but I would use the one off D2L because I put some bookmarks in there for you guys to make it easier to navigate around because it's quite a large document and there's a lot of information in there. So first thing we'll have to determine is the distance between the property lines. So the property line goes from one side of the street to the other side of the street. All right, so we'll have to measure that distance. So I'll just do a quick distance measurement. Make sure it's perpendicular so you're getting the accurate number. So in this case, it says that that distance between property lines is 32 meters. So what I'm going to have to do is go back to my subdivision servicing guidelines, and I've got a number of different street definitions here. As I mentioned before, in this uh, particular subdivision, we've got a number of different roads all interacting here, and the widths determine what street designation they are. And each one of these different street designations have different road widths and radiuses and such. So what I'll do then, I've listed or bookmarked the different types of road definitions here, and as we know, we're looking for a 32 meter property line to property line distance. So when you open up one of these different options here, regardless of which one it is, I've given you a couple of different things. One is the definition or the design standards, which tells us some information about the street, and the other one is the cross section. So the cross section is pretty handy, and what I'll need to do is I'll need to take a look in the document and go to the cross section page and determine the property line to property line distance. So you'll see on the cross section it tells us the property line starts here and goes to here. So that distance from property to property line is 15 meters, and we're looking for a 32 meter width, so that's not the one. So I'll have to check out some other different cross sections here. I've got a cross section with a 17.5 road width. Now that's a road width, that's not a property line width, so you'll still have to check that one too. You got to go in each one of these. It looks like a 27 property line to property line distance, so that's not going to work either. And we'll check the 22 and we'll just go through those different road designations. There it is there. So I've got a 32 meter property line to property line distance, and once I've determined that that particular street is a primary collector, then I can go and take a look at how far I want my offsets to my lip and gutter, because our goal is to draw in only these lines. We're only going to draw on the lip of gutter lines. That's what the LG stands for. The lip of gutter is where the asphalt on the street touches the curb concrete. So in this particular case, we'd have a curb and gutter right about here at this section. So that's the lip of gutter. That's the distance we're looking for. So in this case, we want to find out what that distance from property line to lip of gutter. So on that 32, oops, I got the wrong one there now. Let's go back to that one. So I know that on my 32 wide road, my lip and gutter is going to be 4.75 meters. So on my street, so now that you know that that distance is 4.75 meters from property line to lip of gutter, you'll have to go into your drawing and you'll have to offset this line 4.75 meters, and you'll have to offset the opposite property line also 4.75 meters, and you'll do that all the way along this stretch of road. Now you'll have to determine these offsets between these property lines, between these property lines, and between these property lines here, because they all may be different streets. So you'll have to do the same process. You'll have to measure between property line to property line, and then you'll have to look it up in the subdivision servicing guidelines and go through these different types of streets. It could be a primary collector, it could be a local major street definition, it could be a residential street, or it could be a divided major. So you'll have to take a look at the cross-section detail in each one of those to determine the distance between the property lines. So once you find that distance between the property lines, then you can determine the distance between the property line and the lip of gutter. And when you find that number, you simply go into AutoCAD and offset those property lines at those distances. Those will be your lip and gutter. And if you're ready and you want to draw in the radiuses between these different roads, because different roads will have different radiuses around the corners depending on the speed. So for those of you that are ready to do that, you can go and take a look at the video on D2L that is entitled 3 and 4 center curves. That will be the one you'll do after you get all the gutter lines in. To determine the radiuses, you'll need this video here. But starting things off, draw in those gutter lines so you're ready to go with the radiuses.